Okay, so we are starting the streaming now, okay? Hi, everybody. How are you? I hope you are doing well. And today we are going to be using watercolor to paint a scene of water. Okay. Uh, so um, and but before we start, I'm going to switch my camera now. And before we start, I'm going to show you something about watercolor that you may want to because you may have a question about watercolor. So I'm getting a piece of watercolor paper that give me a second that I want to explain something to you, which is if you if you sometimes find that your watercolor has dried up, right, and it's not giving you, what do you do, right? So what I do is so watercolor, it can, if you put water in it, even if it's dry, is going to become usable again. No matter how old the watercolor is, watercolor can be reactivated with water. See, now it has become soft and I can use it. And if I put more water in it, it's going to become really liquid. Okay. Sometimes it is hard to make your watercolor become liquidy. So what I do is I put some water and take a palette knife and I would scratch it a little bit, and that will reactivate the watercolor. See how it has become nice and flowy. So, and then another thing is, any of your old paintings in watercolor, if you take a brush, take some water, and you come into your watercolor, which is older painting, and you want to correct something, all you have to do is put some water there. You see this painting, that the center brown area. If I don't like it anymore and I want it, say, reddish color, just suppose, I say, okay, I want to make this a bit reddish, not so brown. So it's a week-long painting, right? I did it last week, right? But see, now suddenly I can come in and I can remove the paint, the dried up paint. So this process of watercolor, this behavior of watercolor is called reactivating. You see how light it has become now? It's almost, the color is gone, right? So again, I'll come in with a thin brush and I'll just go over this area really gently and I'll remove the paint and I'll use a paper to soak it up. So now I have a lighter area, the brown is gone. And suppose just for example, right, I want to make this a little bit reddish brown in color, then I'll come in and I'll drop that paint here. So now it looks a bit orangish, isn't it? A little bit reddish orange center instead of brown center. I want to make it even more reddish brown, right? So I'll come and drop more color here. So this I'm doing as an example to show how you can reactivate your watercolor. So even if this watercolor is, maybe you did it 1 year back, you can still reactivate it. You can always reactivate it unless there is a process where you can varnish it and all that. So then you cannot anymore. But if it is just pure and simple watercolor, unlike acrylic, you can reactivate and paint over it again and again. Okay, I hope that was helpful. And so that is on the paper, right? What happens, but on the palette, if you have dried up watercolor, you can go in and you can make it wet and you can go over it gently. Once you get to do this for a while, just make sure that the paint is loosened up. Then you can put more water and you can make it really, really fluid. Okay. So that's the process of reactivation of watercolor. This you cannot do with acrylic. Acrylic, once it dries, um, that's all there is to it. Okay. So I'm getting my camera a little bit closer. So yeah. So today's painting is very simple. Okay. I'm taking some very clean water and I will take a pretty big brush. Just give me 1 second. So I'm taking a pretty big brush such as this, size 8 probably. And I am going to use that first, to start with. I'll make sure that there is no bristles sticking to the brush. So just make sure that the brush is nice and clean and the bristles are good, And I have taken these paints on this palette. They are different kind of blues. Today we will do a monochromatic painting. Different kind of blues, okay? So this blue, the center one is ultramarine blue, pure blue, okay? That's the, so that color is just 1 second, is this color, okay? Just paper, just so that I can show you the colors. Pure blue, ultramarine blue. That's this color. Then I have taken the blue and I have mixed a little bit of black with it over here. How do I do that? I wanted to show it to you today. So I have the pure blue here from this tube. I'll put a little bit of black into it. Very tiny bit. And I will now come in and I'll mix it with a little bit of water using a palette knife. If you don't have a palette knife, a brush is okay. So I'm just, so that's how you'd mix the color so that you have, but this one is very dark, almost, I put a lot of black into it. So maybe I can, I'm going to use this one because here I can see the blue quite a bit. So I like this, the second one that I made. And then I have the same blue and I mix some cerulean blue with it, which is this one. It's called cyan blue or cerulean blue. Okay, so this one is like a little bit lighter blue color. Then because I'm going to do a scene from the sea, I would also like to take some of my blue color and mix a little bit of green with it. And this process is the same for acrylic and for watercolor. Okay. So if any of you are using acrylic already, it's the same exact process. So basically I'm making different shades of blue, okay? So I'm using ultramarine blue as my base, and then I'm mixing cerulean blue in one case, black in another case, and probably I'll come in and put some green in one of them, just to make it a bluish green color, okay?
Mhm.
So this would be, a bluish green. It's not mixing properly, but I'll keep trying. Let's see how this color came out, okay? Maybe I need more green. Okay, now I'm gonna test them out. So I used the pure ultramarine blue before. I also want to show you, so this is the darkest color that I have, that I mixed a lot of black into my blue, and it's almost like an indigo blue color, you see? The one that I made before the class with a lot of black and the blue. It's almost like indigo blue color. It's very, very rich, dark blue, okay? Close to being black. Then I just did this one just right now, which is this blue, which is also very dark blue, but more like Prussian blue. You see, this color, this blue color is called Prussian blue. So these are all different blue colors that we are doing. Okay. And then I have this one, which is the pure ultramarine blue, which is this here. Again, exact same process for acrylic, just creating different shades and tones of blue. Okay, so now I have this ultramarine blue. Then I'm gonna, I remember I said I mixed some cerulean blue with my ultramarine blue. That's this blue. And then I mixed the blue and the green in the class just now. So which is this one. Let's see how, oh, this is very green in color. Maybe, uh, okay, because it didn't mix properly. So this is the blue-green color, but this is almost close to green. I mean, it's really bluish green, okay? So I don't want to use that color. So I want to make it more blue. So I'll go into my blue and bring quite a bit of it into this pool here and see if I like it more. I need it to be blue and not green, okay? So when I mix more blue into the green, I'm getting this color. So I like this one a bit better. This is more, but it's still green, okay? It's still green. So I want to make it blue. So I'll go into my ultramarine blue one more time. Make sure you wash your brush really well and wipe it before you go into your pool of colors. Otherwise you'll contaminate them, right? So I'm going to mix more blue into this and see how that looks now. I wanted blue and not green, like I said. So let's see this one. Oh, so now this is looking very bluish, isn't it? Not so green, right? So these are the colors, okay, that I have. It's really made from this ultramarine blue, okay? This is the base color. In the ultramarine blue, I put in a ton of black and it got really, really dark blue. Then I put in a little less black and it became like Prussian blue. And this is the ultramarine blue. And then I put cerulean blue into the ultramarine blue. I got this color. And then I put yellow, no, sorry, green into my blue. And it got very greenish. So I don't like this. This is Cancer. And I also have this one. When I put a little more blue, I also think this is green. I don't want to use it. And then I put a little bit more blue and I got this one, which looks kind of okay. So I'm going to use this color, this, 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 and that. Okay. So I'm going to be using 3 or 4 different colors of blue. So I'll give you a moment to mix your colors from blue and then we are going to get back to it. Okay. So take a moment and mix your colors and I will be back with you in a minute. Okay. So this is my watercolor paper. It's and I have covered one area with just a round object. You don't have to. Okay? Uh, I just don't want to put any color here. That's all. It's kind of a reminder. I could do a circle with a pencil, but then the pencil mark will show. This is just a reminder. Okay, it's nothing. It's just it could have been anything. It could have been a bottle cap or anything, right? You just put something there. Okay, and then I will come and like in watercolor, I'm gonna put in. So see, I'm just putting water around it. Okay, everywhere. I'm putting water around it everywhere. Just avoiding a center area. Putting a lot of water. Okay, and then I will come and start putting with a with a slightly smaller brush that I was using, so the almost the blackish color that I have, I'm gonna put that here and there like this and let it flow. Okay. Then I clean that brush and I go into my next one that I did, the not so dark color, but somewhat dark. And I'm just moving it around and letting it flow around. Okay. So this is a very good example of wet on wet painting. You don't want the water to dry up too much, right? So now I'm gonna go into my ultramarine blue and put that in. In my painting, it's lighter in the top a little bit. The black, dark black color, the dark, very dark blue color is in the bottom, not at the top. So exact same process for acrylic also, except you have to get it into a consistency like watercolor in acrylic also, okay? Not like very thick paint, okay? This is very thin paint flowing around. So I'm not letting the paint dry up. You see this line here? It has the potential to dry up. So I'm putting more water here. And I'm just going closer to the circle now. I'm putting more water here. And I have a paper napkin, which is very close to me, ready for using. So I'm putting more water. No more paint, okay? I'm putting more water. Just a lot of water. And leaving this part completely white. And then I lift this arm up. Okay. So now I'm gonna come in and take off some paint, okay? I'll use my flat brush and I'll just do something like this. Okay. Then I see there is some white left here. So I'm gonna come in with my the mixture that I had, cerulean blue or the cyan with the ultramarine blue. I'm gonna come and drop some of that color here, just to give it a different kind of variety of colors, okay? Looking very abstract, like looking like abstract art at this point, right? Very loosely done background, very fun. And now I can see that some of this paint is drying up. So I don't want them to dry up with a border, with a edge. I want them to flow nicely. So I'm wetting the paper a little bit around where the paints are and letting them flow into each other. Just letting the paint mix into each other. The bottom is darker than the top. That's one thing that's to be noticed. This is the light coming into the water. It's the, yeah. Okay, so this part, you cannot let it dry with the edge. So I'm just putting more water there, and then I'll put more clean water there. Just so that it looks very, very, you know, there. It looks like no edge, okay? But still you have an area with no paint, okay? Watercolor has a way of flowing, you know, and you get surprises. So this today's lesson is a little bit about how watercolor flows and what kind of surprise effect it can create. There is no other medium that can do this. You can you can have the same effect with acrylic, but you have to make the acrylic really, really light, like very consistency should be very flowy, right, for it to look like watercolor. You have to keep an eye on it because it can watercolor can also create some edges that you may not like. And one more thing one could do is use a Q-tip, a clean one, and you can I oh, this one has some color on it. I can't use it. It needs to be very clean. There should be no yellow. So give me a second. Actually, you can also use a brush, okay, a clean brush. So if I take a clean brush and I go like this, I'm lifting some of the paint. Okay, so here is an area where there is so much puddle of water has formed. I'm a little bit worried about it because if it's so puddly, then I cannot really use a dryer even. So I'm just going to lift up some of these paints from here and there. Also creating texture at the same time. It creates light effect, you know. Okay. So now I'm ready for drying it. Okay, so I have this. This is how it looks. Okay, so different kind of blues applied on a very wet surface, and um, it just created this effect. Okay, now I'll take some of my dark, very dark blue color, almost black, and I will create something like little fishes floating around this area. It's like a almond, little almond, and then like a V at the end. So again, little almond, V at the end. Sometimes there could be families of fishes, a few of them floating together. Sometimes they're going away because they don't want to come towards the light. So there could be a little bit of variety in terms of what is happening. So this paint is not very liquidy. It is a little bit, thicker paint. This is the blue and the black that I said I mixed with a ton of black in it. So it's almost black, but it has a touch of blue in it. Okay? So you can put that in, take your time and put that in. You can even do some later, but I'm gonna do a little bunch of these fishes. They're coming towards the light from very far, so they're very tiny. It's basically the shape is very simple. It's just like an almond, but not a perfect almond. And also it depends on the kind of fish. So it's almond like this, and then a little triangle. Or it could be a bit sharp, like it may be like a very perfect shape like that with a tail. The ones that are far away, they're probably a little bit like that, looking like that. Okay, so a variety of fishes, right? Different kind of fishes coming towards the light and not. The ones that are very far away, they are literally like a little line, you see. You see these fishes that are very far that I'm getting close to the camera? They're just literally lines. It's not even a fish. It's like just a line that I'm doing. It gives the impression of a fish because the rest of them are fishes. So it's got to be a fish. Okay, so get that in. And then I'm going to draw a little, I think it's called a shark. So it's like a line. Maybe the line is here. And basically, I'll draw it out to explain what I'm doing. So it's like a line and then you have like a long U kind of shape here, and you have a V kind of shape here. Okay, and then you join the two, and then you do a almond, and you do almond, and you do another almond here. These are like different shapes, and then you draw the mouth like that and that. Okay, so let's start again. Basically, it's a line. Okay, a nice U shape in the front like that, and a V shape at the back. Okay, that's the starting. A U and a V at the two ends of the line. And then you kind of like not with a straight line, but a little bit of curve to it, just put a design to it, to make it look like something organic, like a person, like a whale's body. So basically I have this shape now. So it's like this, and it's like that, right? And then I have, so I'll take this part, the tail part, and I will make it like one almond here and one other almond here, and then maybe join them a bit and then join it to the body, right? And then I have one almond here, like an almond, like a banana or almond shape, and then another one there. Then I have an eye here and a mouth here. Okay, so the shape is a line, a nice U, a V, join the two, and then do almond, almond, make it a tail, make it a fin, make it a mouth and an eye. Okay, so I'll do that in the other paper now. So this is my, I don't know how that is gonna look, but that's it. Okay, so mm, you don't have to draw it this dark, but I'm doing it so you can see it. Something like that. So if you want, you can put that in. Do you have any question about the drawing of the fish? If you want me to show it one more time, I'll be happy to. You can draw one, or you can draw more. It will get very crowded if I draw a lot, but I could draw one more here. So I have two fishes. So now I'm gonna come with my brush and medium brush, okay, like a size 2, and I'll put water all the way on the inside, completely cover it. To the inside, I put a water, okay. Now I'm gonna come in and put my blue green, the one that I made in the class, the sorry, the blue black color, and I'll put that on the tail at the very end, at the very edge, okay. Take a little bit of the the black color, almost the blue black color, and I put that in here and over here. The very edges on the bottom side, okay. And I'll come and put some of the cerulean blue and maybe put it in the center of the fish. Okay, so I have that. And then remember I did the second one here, so maybe I will put a darker color on this one. And this one looks like another one, but I didn't do anything there. It's just the water. This is the surprise of watercolor. It will create effects like that, that you feel like, oh, there is another fish there. but I just finished up a little bit on that, but I didn't do anything on this one. It just looked like that. I don't know how. So I have almost one, two, three fishes here. This one I can make the eyes a bit darker and maybe work on the fin a little bit more. Okay, something like that. All right, so get that in. So this is the painting so far. And you could do, other things also, like you could do a starfish, um, like a sea star or a star, you know, it's called a starfish, I think. They're little sea creatures, but the shape is kind of like a star. The shape is kind of like a star, and maybe I can put one. Well, this area is getting very crowded, so I'm thinking of composition at this time, and I can do a little starfish here. The starfishes are very small things. Okay, so if the whale is this looks more like a baby whale, but if it's that big, maybe the starfish is really tiny. Just to put an effect of this. Okay, so I think they have got uh, five, three, four, five of these things. Okay, five little protrusions. Okay, and I will use my cerulean blue color at the beginning, and let's see how that goes. They've got dots on their bodies, so I'll just remove some paint using my wet brush. Okay, so it looks like this, close up. All right, so basically, so maybe we draw it in pair, okay? Over here, there is another one. So this is the top one, two, three, four, five. Hard for you to see, but I'm gonna come and color it very soon. So you'll be able to see it then. One, two, three, four, and five. See this one? Once I have that, I'm gonna clean my brush, dry it, and then come and lift some paint up to give some dot effect on the body of the fish. Then I can come with a very, very thin brush, size 0, super thin, okay? Size 0 brush, a little bit darker blue that I made in the class, and I'll just put on the outside of the fish in a few places away from the light, okay, to give it some definition. Same thing, I'll do it here. See, just this is good enough to away from the light, okay? So it looks like this. Okay, so I'm putting in some darker colors to give it some definition. So maybe I'll come to this one here and create some more effect with my darker blue color. Okay, this one is looking very dark, so you may want to change it. So I'll take a little brush, put some water, dry the water, so the brush is almost dry, and I'll come and remove some color from here. You see, suddenly I have this line on the body of the fish. And maybe I'll remove some more color from here also. So this part is a little bit different color. Okay, so I'm gonna do that. Just as an experiment, I'll do that and see how that looks. So I'm removing some color and I'm coming into my cerulean blue and I'll put that into the fish. I'm not sure that looks very nice, so I'll remove some of the cerulean blue also. Now I like it. Now I see, now I like it because it shows the color that they are blending into each other, and this looks nice, I think. So that's that. So these are my 2 starfishes, and then I have 3 big fishes, and then a bunch of small fishes. Mm, then you can also do um, something like a jellyfish, right? And jellyfishes sometimes they can be um, small or big, they can become big actually, but usually they are quite tiny. But if we do it very tiny, we won't be able to see anything. So this is a large jellyfish. It's right here, like a U, like a cap, okay? And then you have all sorts of things that are going to come out of its body. So I'm going to go and put some water on it, this part. Just put some water and maybe I'll use the bluish green color that we made, and I'm putting that in now, right? Okay. And then I'll take some of my dark blue color that I made in the class, and I will now do these things here. I don't know. That's how it's looking. This jellyfish here. And I could do another one here. Same thing. Maybe over here, there is a white spot here in my case. So I'll just put some water there and I'll put the bluish green color here. And take some darker black color and put in. No, actually I should be using a very thin brush. It's a very small area, it's going to get, so I'm just doing that with the black color in this guy here. So that's this one, the one at the bottom. I'll put some more blue-green color on it, like that. Okay, so those are the things, and then so the whale here, I'm going to remove a little bit of color from the top of it. It looks a little bright on the top because the light is shining on it. Just clean up some of this bottom area. There's a lot of dark colors here. Not able, I don't like it. This bottom, how it's looking. So I'm just removing some of the darker colors a little bit. You know, just a tiny bit. Just drawing a bigger fish close to me. It's very close to me, right? So I can draw it bigger. This one. Trying to put in some of the blue-green color here and there, just little specks of blues and greens, and maybe darkening up some of the areas at the very bottom here, using that blue-green color. Finishing up with some blue-green colors on the side to give it a little bit of color variation. I'll be done in a minute and then we can go over some of your work if you like. Okay, so this is today's painting, and we can go over some of your work if you wish. Now, we can go over some of your work, okay? Let's clean up this area a little bit. Okay, so tell me your name and I'll add you to the pin. Or you can raise your hand and I'll try to get to you. Oh, I see Angela. Hold on a second.
Not too good because I
That's it, yeah.
didn't wait for dry before I draw the small fish, and it doesn't look nice at all. Yeah.
It's looking nice on the top. I mean, it's looking nice. But yeah, I
The
see what you
bottom
mean.
is all wet.
That's great. That's good job. Thank you. Thank you for sharing, Angela. Oh, hold on a second. Just 1 second. Okay. All right. That's looking nice. Very interesting. Okay. Very good. Very good. Lots of light in the water. Very looking nice. That's great. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you, though. Well,
If you want, you can take a screenshot. Also, if you have any question, I don't know if all of you were there when we started, but we are going to start using acrylic from July 13th. You can also use other colors in this painting if you wish. If you think um, it's very same color, you can use green color. Like green and blue are very colors next to each other, so you could use green and maybe put some green into the some of the fishes if you want. You don't have to keep to the same color. But I wanted to do a monochromatic painting, so in this class today we used different shades of blue, but we did use some green also, but mostly it was different shades of blue. We started with ultramarine blue and we used that to to either create a darker blue or a lighter blue from there. Okay, and that was the base color today's lesson, ultramarine blue. And then in one of the blue, in one of the wells of the blue, I used some green color to create a bluish green color. Use that. I'm using that right now to go over the jellyfish just a little bit. I'm just removing some of the darker colors. I feel like it's become very dark at the bottom. I'm just correcting it just a little bit, bringing a little bit more light to the bottom. It's very simple, just to wet your brush and to rub over that area and remove some of the darker paint and kind of expose the white of the paper, and that creates the light again. But you can't rub too much. You have to be very careful because the paper may tear or something, or it may create some kind of pulp, that can show up in your painting. So you just be a little bit soft and kind of move your brush very softly and see how that looks. I'm just removing a little bit from here also because I think it could it could get a bit lighter. The light could come in. It will look nicer if I do that. I'm going to try that and see how that looks. So if you feel that in your painting there, because the water has a surprise, right? How the watercolor spreads around. If you feel that your painting is a bit dark here and there, you can correct it. This is the benefit of using watercolor also. You can remove color or you can add color very easily. See how this part is all clearing up a bit? It was a bit muddy, very dark. So I kind of changed that a little bit and see how that looks. Yeah, I think it cleared up a little bit. This little fish right next to the big fish is not working out, this area. Okay. And then this area is also very dark. I can remove that using the paper towel. And if you do that, you see how organic this area suddenly started looking. It's like a sea, what is it called? The seaweed, not seaweed, but the sea coral at the bottom. And you can make it very interesting too. You can add some green dots on it and make it look very, see how that looks. Remove more paint. Wow, that looks very interesting, isn't it? And then put a little bit more green on it. You try that here also, because I kind of like the effect of that light green color. Okay, I think, experiment with that. Let the watercolor do its thing and kind of make it flow all around and paint things on top of it. Because we did water, so painting things on top of a background, a blue background, it was very easy to put in some sea animals and all of that. So, and using the same technique, you can paint a whole scenery on top of the background. So you created the background using a variety of monochromatic colors, and then you do the foreground or animals or anything that you want on top of it with more detail. And every time you do a painting like that, it's going to look different because the water is going to flow everywhere in a very different sort of way. So every painting is going to look different and you'll have lots of fun experimenting like this.
It's July 13. We start acrylic. Did you say?
Oh, sorry. Can you say that louder, please?
Yeah, I said July 13, we will
Yes.
start acrylic.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
that is correct.
Yes.
And you may have the supplies. Do you have acrylic?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I have acrylic. It's
Okay.
it's not same paper. Did you say?
Can
Can
you do 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 you need more paint, or are you okay with the paint that you have?
I think I will use Canva.
Okay, if you need anything, you can contact the foundation.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. No, I have a lot of acrylic at home.
Say, I'm having trouble hearing you. Can you say that one more time?
Mm. Yes, I understand. Thank you.
Yes, you can collect it from them.
Yeah, thank you.
So in acrylic, you really need one yellow, one red, one blue, a white,
Yeah,
and a black.
initial. Yeah, and the black
Yes.
and white.
One yellow, one red, one blue, a white, and a black, and then we will mix the rest of the colors. But if you have more color, that is okay. We can use them.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Pamela.
No problem.
It's over today.
Yes, the painting is done today, but you can take the screenshot.
Mm-hmm.
But we are also open. Like I can work more on this. Like if I want to give you some ideas, you could use the brush like and take colors off
Mm-hmm.
to create the effect of the light. So you can play with your own painting and see how I'm creating the rims of light. But it's not necessary. You can use this brush to remove some light so that um, to remove some of the colors so it looks interesting. You can also use this brush to create like little droplets of water, bubbles in the water. Like see how I'm removing this, and then I'll use the paper towel to soak up the water. So you can create some special effects. I can go through this area and I can create a nice bubble here and get rid of the water. And, and so now I have a spot which is really beautiful and white dot, right? And I can come back a little bit later when it dries and work on it a bit more. But let me do a few more. to create some light effect here, as if like bubbles are in the water, right? And so if some of your bubbles have dried, then you can come back on it with the thin brush, and you can create a little bit of a darker area around the bubble and make it really look like a bubble. See that one? I did a bubble there. You can do some of that in the water. It's good, if you play with the paint like that, and your brush work is going to improve. And I'm just drawing around the white area, okay, and putting in some dark blue also. Again, this one I can draw around it, make it more detailed, make it look like a bubble. You can work on this painting for a very long time. That's the beauty of this painting. You can do a lot of innovative things in this kind of painting. So see how I'm doing. I did that bubble a little bit differently. And then I can also come and create more effect on my jellyfish. And there is a lot. I can continue to do this, uh, and have a lot of fun. So I encourage you to experiment with this, okay? If you have time. So yeah, the painting is done and it's not done. So because you can continue to work on it. That's all I'm trying to say. A very easy way to make a bubble is to use a Q-tip, but the Q-tip has to be really clean. It cannot have yellow on this in this case. So if I come with a relatively clean Q-tip and I just remove this area, see how quickly I get a bubble? And then I wet it again, dry it, and come and pick up more color from the top. So it's very simple. It's just doing a round and then drying it and then coming back and picking up more color, and one more time pick up more color. And you can also do that over here. You can you can create some light effect with the bubbles and all that. It will look like the light is spreading everywhere. You can make really small ones too, small bubbles here. Usually fishes, when they're swimming, there is bubbles near their mouth. So you can create that effect. I feel like I can work on this painting for a very long time. I feel like I can do a lot. So I can do a lot of bubbles a lot of fishes, seaweed, sea corals, little fishes everywhere swimming towards the light. So I'll leave it to you to practice on this idea. Okay. And then you can show me next time what you did. Okay. I will say my goodbye to you today and see you next week.
Okay, thank you, teacher. Bye-bye.
Thank you. You're very welcome.